What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, you guys have been asking us to watch Larry Bird trash talking. You've been asking for it for a while, so we thought today will be the day we check it out. We've watched another Larry Bird video recently, so go check that out after this video if you haven't already. But before you do,
please smash that subscribe button because we are en route to 100K.
We're getting close, guys. Getting closer and closer by the day. Let's get into the reaction.
In the last play, he says to James Worthy, he says, "You guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over there that corner." He said, "They're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out." He said, "I'm going to curl right over." And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, "I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game," whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or DJ, the late, great DJ.
Yeah.
Take the ball out, the man curl right to the corner, caught the shot a three, game over.
I find that so disrespectful when you say what you're going to do and then you literally do the exact thing. And it's like, they knew it's going to happen, but it can't be stopped. It's just...
Thing is, he, like we said, he walks the walk and he talks the talk.
He does. He does.
It's like, are you effing kidding me?
Go to shake his hand. I'm a rookie. I'm playing against the Boston Celtics in the Boston Garden. Go shake. And Larry put both hands behind his back. He wouldn't shake my hand. I said, okay, he's just getting into the game. In the first play of the game, he said, "You don't even belong in the league, Holmes." And he shoots a three. Now, I wasn't mad that he made the three. But I said, "There's some bitch just called me Holmes." And he came down and did it again, so I'm pissed, you know. So the next time down, see me on the breakneck pitch, and I jump up and I throw it down on him. I mean, he fouls.
You dunked him.
And he said, "Hey, Rook, I like you. You got hot." He said, "But I'm still getting 30 on your ass." I mean, that's who he was. But that was the only time he ever talked trash to me, because he respected me, because he knew that I was going to keep coming. That really taught me something, you know. If you wasn't prepared to play against guys like that, you got embarrassed.
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, "Larry, what's going on with you?" He says, "You guys are being disrespectful to me." And I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You guys are putting a white guy on me." Disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing.
No white on white crime. He's like, "I'm the only white guy that can handle this league. No other white guys on my level. It has to be a black guy on me. Otherwise, you're not taking a piss."
I had no comeback when he says, "It's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me." And I'm sitting there like, I'm laughing in the middle of a game.
Larry Bird told Robert Reedy the other day that he should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points.
And you know, Larry Bird ain't never playing no great defense. He like sagging off a little bit. So he tell the guy, "You can't shoot, so I'm not worrying about guard you." I said, "Man, shoot it in the face, shoot it in the face."
He just pisses everyone off.
Mark hit a three-pointer on Larry Bird and said, "Take a look at that." And Bird just came right back and hit three-pointers in a row, and just basically said to him, and we all heard it, that you're out of your league.
Or he'd say, "Danny, give me the ball," or "DJ, give me the ball. I got this guy in the torture chamber down here." Why the guy was standing right there listening to him say it.
The ball went to Larry, and Isaiah was all out of whack. He had the ball at three-point range. He goes, hey, who's guarding me?" Everybody looked around. He just stood there, held the ball, and Isaiah said, he ran out there and just shot it, three-pointer. Too late.
He was the originator of getting in your face and talking trash.
And then you sit there and you go, "Well, this guy up in my face talking noise. He ain't that fast. He's slow."
But he knew how to aggravate you, agitate you enough to get you out of your game.
I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He goes, "Confident? You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me. The coach took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He rage baits everyone. He makes people angry so that way they're not playing the top of their game and they want to try prove something so they don't play their normal game. That's very good. It's like getting in people's heads.
Yeah. The thing is, it's fun for him as well.
Yeah, he's finding it hilarious. He's doing it and he's laughing.
He's trolling.
He's literally trolling. And back then trolling wasn't even a thing. Yeah. So like, but he's on
Bird catches the ball in the corner. I take off running out at Larry Bird. And right when he's getting ready to shoot, I jump. And as I go by, him, he tells me, he says, "Fly, Bird." And I go right by him, and he shoots the ball. It's nothing but nylon.
Larry Bird was a pain in the neck.
Anytime we had a chance to win, Larry Bird changed that.
Larry Bird. That offers his own shot.
There was a certain confidence you had because, you know, if you ever got in trouble, give the ball to Larry and get out of his way, and he'd deliver.
The double team and Bird. Larry, fake, fall away.
Stop. That was a stop.
Do you remember? Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. Yeah, that was a tough night, man. The biggest argument that night is, well, you only scored 6 on me.
Oh, so they're arguing with each other saying he's only scored a couple points on me. Like basically he scored on everyone, so it's who got scored on the least rather than like that's their way of proving they played well.
That they're not victims.
Yeah, he just took the piss out of everyone.
Nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying
you know, but when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots. And, you know, Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line. And he's like, he literally says, left side, across the 3. And you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
But, okay, so you guys got, Antoine Carr and Cliff Livingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Celebrating Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever because back then you didn't have, you know, you watched the real game and just went, you know, with a video. And Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept not the shot. He just kept rewinding it, showing the guys. You remember they were giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah, that was Eddie Johnson. That was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter. And Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other a high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that. So it
wasn't somebody not playing good defense on Bird. It was you guys celebrating Larry Bird.
And Fratello wouldn't let it go. He just kept rewinding. And it was
stress.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, yeah, and so it was a bad night.
When Larry got on the roll, started shooting the ball, every shot was going in.
Goodbye, she's gone.
I guess the 2-pointer was too close.
When he ran by the bench, he goes, that's a heat check to see how hot I am. All right, he runs by Frank Layden, who's the funniest guy in the league. And Frank is coaching, and Larry says to him, hey, Frank, don't you have anybody on that bench that can guard me? He goes, so nobody out here can. Frank looked down at the bench and goes, no.
Just got to let him play.
He'll look at you like, hey, what you doing out here? You better call somebody else. I even heard him tell the coach, hey, look, coach, you better get somebody else out here to guard me because I'm killing this guy.
In last year's playoffs.
That's bare sad on the guy guarding him. Imagine like Larry Bird telling their coach, you need to swap player. This guy's getting smoked. And how would that guy feel? He's just going to be there like, oh, man.
Imagine how the coach feels as well.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Telling you what to do with your team.
It's so embarrassing.
Damn.
Person was out to make Bird eat his words while adding a few choice comments of his own.
Chuck Person, he definitely has his reputation. During the playoffs, he just went AWOL, you know, and he just went to work.
You can see Yass playing a little Bird, giving it back to him, Shine. Chuck Person can talk some trash to Larry Bird now. He scored the last 16 points.
Chuck and Larry down low, greeting one another once again.
Bird, he has caught fire. Person stumped him and had something to say.
And he's talking trash.
And look at Bird.
He's talking trash at him.
Person didn't dare look at him.
Yeah, it is a little special because I've known Chuck for a while and we've always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
Bird's ability to get the final word has made for many a magic moment. And this week, we relive a game when Larry was in rare form and Xavier McDaniel was eager to lend an ear.
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball, no shot clock.
They called a timeout. He said, you know I'm going to get it. And I said, I know, I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to timeout, I'm going for a play, and I said, all right, this is what we're going to run. All right, then you get the ball, you go over here, and you pass to Kevin, then you go to the corner, and Robert, you come over. Then about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way. Now, after the timeout, we walk back on the court, and Larry was going down to his position, so he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball. Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
Nah. Literally done that. Good
2
shot.
seconds on the clock.
He had 2 guys on him there as well. He took the piss.
And, you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. And I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird just phenomenal the way that he will contribute in the clutch time.
Larry was complaining to the refs, and I was complaining to the refs, and the next time down the court, he got in my face.
I was up 38-6. That's how I summarize it.
The 84 Olympic team was playing an exhibition game against a bunch of pros, including Larry Bird, and they were in the warm-ups. And a ball bounced down from the college end of the court to the pro end. And Michael Jordan went down to chase it. The ball happened to be picked up by Larry Bird. And Michael went up a few feet away from Larry Bird and held out his hands. And Bird took the ball and fired it back down the court over Jordan's head.
Wow.
As if to say, you're not only not getting this ball, I don't give a damn who you are. Larry Bird knows exactly who this guy is and what's going to happen in the next few years.
To be fair though, Larry Bird's like built his rep. Obviously it's quite disrespectful what he done there, but at the same time it's him saying, you're not the only top dog here.
You know what I would have done? I would have got rid of the Jordan. You know the Nike collab with Jordan, and put Bird to represent Larry.
Well, after that.
And he wants to get every edge he can get right now.
I got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight. He walks down to me. Man, I'm sorry you're not playing, but he said, I'm gonna tell you what, since you here, I'm gonna put a show on for you.
Nah.
So you just sit back and watch, okay? And I'm like, man, get out of my face, man. I want to hear that. You know, that's Celtics and the Lakers. Every time he hit one, he look at me.
I remember we were playing
This one's for you.
in Washington one night, and Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot, but KC called timeout.
Hilarious.
It won't count. It does not count. Boston had called a timeout.
No way.
Larry came back to the bench, and, you know, he was a little upset.
He looks at the bench and says, hey guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot and I'm going to kick it in.
He told Washington, I'm going to get the ball.
2 seconds left. The Bullets by 1. Aims to Bird. He gets a good shot and the Celtics win it. Boy, this is something else. Incredible.
Did you get what happened with that one? Did you hear the beginning bit or did you miss the beginning? It's alright if you did. So basically, he scored and they called it, the opposite team called a timeout just as he scored. But because it's a timeout, his thing didn't go in. It didn't count. So he was pissed.
Then he had to reshoot it.
So so they done the timeout and he was pissed off because that was like the winning point or whatever, or saved them or whatever. And then he said to them, when we go back on, I'm going to do the exact same thing from the exact same position. Just pass me the ball.
Oh.
They passed him the ball. He's done it again in the exact same position and it went in.
I feel like that moment was in one of our previous
I think it might have been in the previous reaction, that specific moment. But that's the story. But I don't think we saw the story behind it. So that's the story behind it where he just said, like,
he's like, I can do this again. And he did.
And he did, literally, straight in their face.
Bird wins it.
On the buzzer. Oh, he wins it as well. That was a winning shot. So what's your thoughts with Larry Bird's trash talk?
I think I said this already. I would have loved to watch him perform.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, that would have been mad.
He does the trash talk, but he's just not chatting for the sake of it.
He's an entertainer, but a performer. Like,
exactly.
Best of both worlds. Not just one to talk and not deliver.
Yeah.
We don't like those people.
No.
Guys, thanks so much for the recommendation. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Help us get to 100k. And keep recommending videos. This was a recommendation, so we watched it. But for now, peace out.
Bye.